Hi there. Good afternoon, everybody. I hope this comes to you at a very good time. Please don't mind where I am. Just making our time in the middle of a garden somewhere to make this short video. It's been on my heart for a bit. As you know, a sizable part of my focus and my channel is on African migrants in the United Kingdom. And I'm not a professional videographer, in case you notice shift here and there. Just bear with me. I'm very particular about the message and the value that I add on this platform. So it's my break time of work, central London. Simply came around to a park to shoot this. And this afternoon, I want to address African parents, especially migrants, those who are just coming into the country, immigrants, migrants, those who are passing through, or those who are hoping to settle in the United Kingdom. I want to talk to you about parenting. All right. And I'll just go straight to the point. No messing around. Parenting in the UK is very different from parenting in Africa. And you may as well very easily lose your child immediately that child steps foot on the soil of the United Kingdom if you don't take serious these things I'm about to tell you. Like I said, I've been here for about 6 years. And before coming to the United Kingdom, I had the privilege of pastoring a church. I'm still a pastor. I still pastor in the UK, and I still pastor the church back in Nigeria. Alongside, I do missionary endeavors and enterprises, move around, bearing witness to the gospel of Jesus. But this is not a religious channel. This channel will be focusing very greatly on the practical end of life for those living in the United Kingdom. So, like I said, I'll call this Parenting 101 for African migrants. As always, I try to get my sheet of paper in front of me. I write my thoughts down so that I can give them to you quickly. Okay? Um, I've got three children. One is 18, or will be 18 November this year, 2025. The other will be 16, and the other will be 11. Now, when we came into the UK, the first was about 12 years old. She was going 12. She was 11. She was going 12. The second was 9, and the third was 3. And as of today, I want you to know 6 years down the line, each of these kids, we sit down to have meaningful conversations. I find out that in conversing with them, not only is the UK different from Nigeria, each child is different one from another. And you must respect their distinction and trust God for wisdom on how to guide them. Now, again, I'm not apologetic about my faith and about the fact that I believe that God has a role to play in the lives of anyone that is on the face of the earth. So, for those of you who may be offended at this, again, no apologies. Pick what is useful for you and leave out the rest. Otherwise, there are many contents online, all right? But I'm sure that if you stay through and pick what other things, you'll find some benefit in this. So, first thing I want to say to you is this: the concept of parenting in Africa is very different. In Africa, people believe that they're your children, you just talk to them, and if they wouldn't listen, you bulldoze your way through. Sometimes, especially with spanking, especially with flogging your kids, and in some instances, not just flogging, there's a literal brutalization of children in Africa. All right. Um, and many people who have migrated from Africa, say countries like Nigeria and Ghana, have entered into the United Kingdom with similar ideologies. And I can tell you, many people have lost their children. They didn't lose their children to social services, they lost their children while that child, most of those children were at home. Some of the kids were at home, but their parents could not say anything to them anymore. Their parents wouldn't listen to them anymore. In some instance, some children even threatened their dad, threatened their mom with leaving the house. This is a reality in in the UK. In Nigeria, if a child threatens to leave the house, say, well, you can go anywhere you want to go. You know that you can easily rally around that child. That child has relatives that you can easily call upon or try to trace him or her through friends that you know. In the UK, it's very different. You're afraid of your child getting out of the house, and you know that this child would have the backing of the police. This child probably will get the backing of the Constitution. You have social services here who will support the child and happily take the child off you and provide finances and provide the kind of things you wouldn't give to your child. All right. They give the child an accommodation, put the child under caregivers who have no vision for your children other than for them to make their salary, and will let your child get by with almost anything just so that they can have peace. All right. So it's a very delicate one. And most parents are oblivious to the massive pressure that children in the West go through. All right. In their various classes, there's liberty in the UK. Most children are coming from very dysfunctional homes, where even within African homes, you have parents that are no longer together who are just managing to coast along. You have children who the fathers are absent and they are being raised by mothers who are crackheads. Even within the African community, or they are being raised by mothers who are overly stressed. She's doing three, four jobs to cover. Her health is breaking down, and her children are facing pressure, peer pressure in school, and peer pressure among their mates. And they're already going. The man is absent. In some instances, it's not the man that is absent, it's the woman. And in some other instances, it's not that the woman or the man is absent. It's just that they are finding it difficult to strike the balance that is needed for their family to be wholesome. So I tell you, the challenges are real. Because of the nature of the bills also in the United Kingdom, I did say that in my introductory video. And I'm going to do another video that will break down some of the um, bills, the standard bills in the UK, from council tax to electricity tax to gas to water tax, to water bill, council tax, your electricity bills, your insurance, almost everything requires insurance in the UK. You need insurance for your car, even your phone. You want to insure your phone because there's massive amount of theft depending on the area that you're living in. Central London, Tottenham Court Road area is like, what would I call it now, the stealing capital of London. Phones disappear like every second. All right, so insurance in certain respect is optional, but for certain respect is not. And if you're going to ride a car in the UK or you're going to drive a car in the UK, you must be insured. Now, when you look at what you have to cope with, the bills you have to cope with, and I'll tell you also, if you go to www.gov.uk, you will find out that the cost differential for a family that has two children, husband and wife, and for a family that has three kids, and or a man and a woman that has three children, the price margin for maintaining them in the UK is so high. You can have as much as £25,000 difference or £15,000 difference that you're required to possess to be able to run your family. Now, these are from scientific analysis within the United Kingdom. And in some instances, if you don't have this much, they won't even give you a visa for you to come over to the United Kingdom. It's one of the conditions that must be met. And these conditions are not going to be met one off. So, like I said, I've been in the UK now 6 years. I came in with a leave to enter, which is the first visa you'll be given if you're coming to the UK to stay. On the settlement ladder, that's your first visa. So you have the um, leave to enter, which means you can go in and come out. Then your second visa will be your leave to remain, and then your third visa will be your indefinite leave to remain, which is your ILR. And after your ILR, then you can apply for your British passport. Okay, and all of this took me 5 years. I came in through the spousal route again. So for those of you who are coming through the spousal route, I want you to know I'm available to um, advise. I'll try and make my videos as practical as possible. Try and give you documents, give you samples of documents, and prepare you to make sure that your going forth is as easy as possible. All right. So within the time frame of coming into the UK, I saw some dramatic changes with, like my first daughter, for example, very dramatic change. And one of the things you want to consider also is the school that you're going to be sending your kids to. All right, which school would you have them go to? Most parents now, the United Kingdom is designed in a way that, as much as possible, all the activities that concerns you should be within certain range, certain distance from the family. That would help you manage transport costs. That will also minimize the stress. But the truth of the matter is that it doesn't always count. But when it comes to school, oftentimes than not, except on very unusual cases, the school your child will be going, except for the higher institution, will usually be maybe about 7 minutes from the house, 10 minutes from the house. But I want you to know that just because a school is close to your house does not mean it is good, because that's where your younger children will face their greatest peer pressure from. Not just your younger children, your teenagers. That's where their greatest peer pressure will come from. That's where the things that would influence them against their beliefs, against the culture, that is where it's going to come from. And if you, as a father and a mother, are not on ground, readily available to look into what is going on in the life of your children, to observe their behavior, to observe changes, little changes in their behavior, um, if you're giving yourself over to working 12-hour shift, the mother goes on a 12-hour shift, the father goes on a 12-hour shift, and then you try to pacify them by taking them to McDonald's, I can assure you those kids will not go back with you to Nigeria. They won't. All right? If the molding force at home is not stronger than the molding force or the forces that is influencing your children in the school or on Netflix or on their mobile devices, then you can be rest assured that those kids are lost. Um, this is a very liberal society, very, very liberal. And the children have unbelievable power. The kind of power that they don't even know they have, except they begin to see how their peers misbehave. And then their peers begin to educate them about their rights as children and what they can do with their parents and what their parents cannot do. All right. So this is a very serious one. I want to say to you, African migrants, or you're just coming into the UK to settle, you need to plan your family life. All right. You need to yourself, if you're a couple, husband and wife, sit down and agree that you want to raise a family in the UK. And that comes at some serious cost. Raising a family in the UK costs a lot, not just financially. As a matter of fact, financial cost is one of the things you'll have to sacrifice. Two of you cannot, and I want to repeat, the two of you cannot be doing 12-hour shift. The father and the mother go out 12-hour shift. You go out 7 o'clock in the morning, and then you, the mother, go out 7 o'clock in the morning. Both of you come back 7 at night, and then you're seeing your children. By the time you see them, your children are already in bed. Um, if those kids spend the first 6 months like that, especially if they're in secondary school, you can be rest assured that by the 8th month, you'll be coming home to meet strange people, strangers. They will just be looking at you. They will bear the name you call them, but internally they've been reconfigured by the pressure, by the associations, by the conversations they're having in school and the exposures. You wouldn't believe where your children would have gone to. Recently, myself, my wife, and my kids, we decided to take, just family evening out. Actually, they protested, all right? And I felt that, yeah, that they tried enough. Let me take them out. So we came down to central London from Essex, and we came to my office, somewhere along the line. I can't remember who expressed the desire to eat Chinese now, whether it was my wife or one of the kids. But then I said to them, I said, well, I don't know where to buy Chinese here. Or I know it's my office, I come straight to work and I go back home. I don't know where to buy Chinese. And my older daughter said, yeah, I know where to buy Chinese. As a matter of fact, I know where you can get everything Chinese for £5. Anything you want to eat, £5. I said, really? I said, okay, that's fine. Let's go. Now, mind you, in 6 years we have been in the United Kingdom, I have not brought her to London once. Not once. So all this while, I've been living in that delusion that my daughter does not know London. All right? Now, don't forget, I'm talking about my office. I brought her to my office. And then the next 5 minutes, we're at Chinatown, at Tottenham Court Road. My daughter took us to a Chinese shop where they had Chinese menu. And lo and behold, what she said was true. I mean, it was a beautiful atmosphere and mood. For her, she was just excited. And you see, that's the thing about children. If you are observant, if you're a sensitive parent, they'll give you clues to let you know that they are not where you left them. They'll give you clues to let you know that something is not right. They'll give you clues. to the other side of their life that does not meet your immediate eyes. Now, how you handle those clues will determine whether they lock you out permanently or they give you admittance or admission into their space. And if you're also an intelligent parent, you will learn from your children their goings on and you'll be better equipped to help them. All right? So we got in there. While we were buying the Chinese, my thought was, my God, I've been working in London for a while. I don't even know this Chinese restaurant. My daughter, that I could boast that she never left Essex, has been coming to London to these Chinese restaurants only God knows for how long. Now, she's a good girl, very, very good girl, and I'm grateful to Jesus for that. But the reality is that I was living in denial, all right? She came in from Nigeria when she was 11. She's mixing with girls who were born, bred, raised, boys who were born, bred, raised in London. And the influence is there. The children here don't have the restraint that the children in Nigeria have. So you need to get this clear. Now, I'm going to drop these few points, and I hope that it will help you. Probably in other videos, we're going to do a further elaboration on this. And at some point, I'm going to be looking at carrying out live chats, all right, or live videos where you'll be able to, call in, make your own contributions, seek counsel. I'll bring in other African parents, and together we ensure that the future of children, the African child in the United Kingdom, is not a disgrace. All right. Now, let me give you these few points, and I will round up. Now, the first thing I want to say to you is this. Number one, as parent, you need to learn to communicate with your child. All right. You need to befriend your child. Um, don't completely abolish the hierarchical relationship between you. And as much as possible, don't let your relationship be just hierarchical. Hierarchical means I'm your father, you must do what I have, what I tell you to do. If you do that, that will, suffice for a bit until the child begins to be 14, 15, 16, 17, and realizes that defying you will bring no consequence. If she defies you or he defies you, you want to get violent with her, or you want to punish her the way you will punish her in Nigeria, all she needs to do is to call the police, and there you go. You're on your way to the police station, and before you say Jack, you have instances where the child is allowed to come out of the house. You are given a notice of not contacting the child without the child's permission, or you can't come where 100 meters from where the child is, and there you go. You begin to beg to see your daughter. You beg your son to see him. You beg your daughter to see him. You beg the government to allow you to see your children. So number one, don't be all about hierarchy. Don't bring the Yoruba traditional man here that just wants to beat and slap and kick and possibly power slam your children. You will lose them if you do that. You need to befriend your children. Now, for some of us who are very extremely cultural and that doesn't make sense to us, let me advise you, make friends with fathers who have mastered the art of befriending their children. I'm one of them. All right. I'm still a very strong father. I believe I'm still a very strong father. By God's grace, my kids listen to me, but I'm different. I haven't come into the UK. After a bit, I began to realize that although they were listening to me, I wanted more out of my relationship with them. They're calling into their room, they're spending more time in their room, they're spending more time with their friends. And I didn't want that. Listen, you want your children to be your friend. All right? You don't just want to be sending them around. You will find out that as parents, you're a wise child, a child that is well thought, can make your journey in the United Kingdom much, 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 much simpler. As a matter of fact, you are going to find certain things in the UK a lot easier because your children got there before you. So you have to befriend your children. All right. To befriend them does not mean that they call you by name. No, that's not what it means. If that works for you, that's fine. But that's not African in my own respect. We are friends. We crack jokes. We laugh. I'm very comedic at home with my kids. I say certain things I don't even know where they come from, and then they would laugh, and they're already anticipating what I will say. At times we do pillow fights. At times we do pillow fights with their mom. All of us we run around. We just have fun. Learn to have fun. All right. That's the first thing. Befriend your children. All right. Your children are young and they are looking for friends desperately. Be your son's first friend, be your daughter's first friend. In my family, my wife and my daughter do what we call mother and daughter. They go out alone. Myself and my son, we do father and son, we go out alone. And at times, once in a while, myself and my son will go for prayer walk. You know, as of this recording, my son is 15 years. Once in a while, we go out for prayer walk. In those prayer walk, we pray about different things. What you put inside them is what will grow with them. If you get too busy doing security job, you get too busy doing warehouse job, the devil will be reprogramming your children. By the time you've made all the money will make no sense. All right. And I can tell you, the pain that will come from their failing you is what will take your life before your time comes. All right. So befriend your children. That's very, very important. The second thing I'll say to you is speak purpose to them. All right. Before I say that, let me say another important thing is be available for your children. Most African parents in the United Kingdom are not available. Be available for your child. If you hear Yorùbá ẹ̀gbọ́n mi, wọ́n sọ fún yín o, ẹ má fi gbogbo ọjọ́ lé owó o, ẹkún ló máa ti ẹ̀yìn ẹ̀ jáde. Be available for your children. All right? Decide who is going to work, whose work is not, going to bend. It could be the man. For example, I leave home more than my wife. But I'm grateful to God that He made that possible because my wife at some point would have to go to work from Monday to Friday. But after the COVID, certain adjustment was brought into the office. So she goes to work maybe twice a week and she works from home 3 days a week while I have control over my time. Now, if she was still going to work Monday to Friday, I could not. I could not make the decision to do the kind of job I'm doing. But because she will work 2 days from home, and then she has 3 days she works 2 days in the office and 3 days from home. It made my choices little more easier. I can go from Monday to Friday. As a matter of fact, I was working from Monday to Saturday at a point. All right. Now that made it easier for me. The same thing I want to say to you: make a commitment and ensure you keep to that commitment that your family comes first, your children comes first. And even right now, right now, um, I would plan with my wife how we take the kids to school. So one of my younger daughter has a friend that lives around the neighborhood, and my wife, and the parent of the girl came together, and we struck a deal on taking our kids to school. We shared the taking of our kids to school. All right, instead of both parents meeting in the school, and both parents are just next door neighbors. The kids are very good friends, so that created the ground for us to be able to do that, and that's what we've been doing. So some days. I will take my kids to school in the morning and in the afternoon, and their own children or their own daughter. I could do 3 days in the week. The other parents would do 2 days at times. She would do 2 days, and she would do 3 days. We would do 2 days at times. She would pick them up all in the morning, and we will pick them all in the afternoon. You see, that's part of what we're saying. All right. So myself and my wife will work. We look at our shift. I do shift jobs. I do morning and night. She does day job. We look at it. She will ask me, okay, so what's your shift for next week? I give it to her. She looks at her own calendar which day she wants to go to work because she can choose any of the days, and we plan around it. And we liaise with the other parent, and you know what? It makes things work. So learn from this. All right, be available for your children. Don't leave your children alone. There's a level where children are they're happy you're not around, and it's in those period that they get influenced by many things sneak upon them. They begin to get into looking at adult content online that is not appropriate for their age. Friends come home that is not helpful, or they begin to get exposed to things, and there are not many children who will read by themselves when you are not there. Okay, so please understand this and be available for your children. So the other thing I want to say to you is, as a father, as a couple, live a respectable life before your kids. All right? Live a respectable life before your kids. It is very, very important. Your authority as a parent will likely come stronger from the life that you live than from the position you occupy in the UK. All right? As a man, let your children see you provide. Let them see you go to work. Let them see you kneel down and pray. Okay? Let them see you talk about values. Sit your children down, discuss values with your children. let your children see you carry out act of kindness. Let your children see you walk around the house. All right, and let show kindness to them. Pick their clothes up, wash it at times. Also, let them join you in doing certain things. All right, and as you're doing those things, you are putting a model in front of them. All right, you're becoming their example. If you don't do this, your children don't know what a real man looks like. Your children don't know what a real woman looks like. And someday your children will tell you they are not there. You've not been there for them. And this is very, very important. All right. As a man, one of the greatest things you can do for your children is to love their mother. Love their mother, care for their mother. It impacts on the male child on how to handle a woman. It impacts on the female child on what a real man looks like. I cannot overemphasize this. And all these things will contribute to whether your children are safe and they grow well, or they imbibe the culture of the West where marriage is no longer important and anything can happen. May your children not get lost. All right. The other thing I want to say to you is reward their good efforts. Don't just be about training, training, discipline, discipline, discipline. When your children do well, reward their good efforts. Be quick to compensate them. All right. In some instances, there's a level, there's an age where the child is, you can, £1 will mean a lot to the child. So, you wash the plates. Taking the child over to McDonald's will mean a lot. Most children here, don't forget this is the West. All right. And because it's the West, technology is quite advanced here and they have everything to do almost anything, which is part of what has built weakness into many African homes. Some parents get in here and the minute they get here, they get dishwashers, they get washing machine, they get this, they get that. All those things are good. Don't get me wrong. I've got some of these things at home. But I have not also completely abandoned the discipline that allows for the making of a proper boy or the making of a proper girl. I believe that your children can still wash plates. Not because they'll wash plates in the future, it's just the discipline to be a homemaker that it puts into them. And most of the times, they don't want to do it. All right. You need to pacify them when they are still young. In some instances, you need to put your feet down. And as they do it, when they're least expecting, reward them. Reward them. If they are under 10, you can still reward them with McDonald's. Take them, okay, you know what, you get a milkshake today. And that child is happy. All right. That is very, very important. Reward the good behavior of your children. If they come home with good results, reward them. Reward them. If you can't take them to Spain yet, or you can't take them to France yet. Spain and France are just around the corner. In some instance, some of the European countries you hear about when we're in Nigeria, just an hour, 2 hours drive from us. If you can't do that, take them to London. All right? Take them to London. If you can't take them to London, take them to a shopping mall around the house. Watch movie with your kids. Reward them. Let me say this to you. One of the greatest problems in the UK are that the children in the UK are not secure. Self-esteem issue is a very, very big deal. And this is what leads to children joining gangs, taking knives, wanting to prove to their peers that they are worthy of the companion of their peers, and they are doing injurious activities, all the things that you hear on the news. So you need to build your children's self-esteem by putting a reward system in place. And as you put the reward system in place, as you are giving it to them, you also give an explanation for the reward you are giving to them. Always relate your explanation and your reward system to life. Let them say this is what life is. When you do the right thing, you are going to be compensated. Put that thing on the inside of them early. There's a relationship between work and reward. Put it there early. All right. And yeah, you'll find out that uh, God will help you. Okay. So the other thing I want to say to you is that don't threaten your children with sending them back to Nigeria. I see a lot of Nigerian parents especially doing this. What you threaten a child with, a child will ultimately run from. All right? You threaten the child, a child will not like what you threaten them with, because that is negative motivation. You are behaving like this. I'm going to send you back to Nigeria. And then one day you want to take the child back to Nigeria, and the child is wondering, no, that Nigeria must be hell. If my parents are threatening with Nigeria, Nigeria must be hell. Why do I want to go to Nigeria? And yeah, this is what happens. So don't threaten your kids with Nigeria. It's crazy that you threaten your children with Nigeria. If you even decide to take them home and you want to maybe leave them there so that they grow before you bring them back, still do not use it as a threat. Don't use Nigeria as a threat. People will hate what you threaten them with. All right? Please don't do it. That's negative motivation, because you don't want to grow up and be abandoned by your children. When they grow up, they will choose not to come to Nigeria because that has been what the parents used in bullying them all the while they were young. So avoid this. Okay. Um, the other thing I've written down here is as much as it lies within your power, take them home. Don't divorce your children from Nigeria completely. If they are young, don't forget my focus again are African immigrants. I'm sure that some other families who are not immigrants who have lived here can learn a thing or two from me. Take them home. All right. Myself and my daughter, myself, my wife, and my older daughter, we just returned back from Nigeria. She had a fantastic time. And she's already talking about buying her own ticket and going back, being able to visit Nigeria as often as possible. Listen, um, Ilela Bosimioko, when you are done, you want to go back. All right. You're likely going to want to go back. You want your kids to be at home when they come home and not come home and after 3 days they are in a hurry to go back to Europe or go back to the US. All right. Let them keep connection with family members who shower love on them. Choose those family members. My immediate younger brother and my sister love my kids, and my kids love them. My younger brother and my sister are a strong enough reason for all my three kids to want to go to Nigeria. Okay. These kind of relationships let them know that they are loving people there and gives them something to look forward to back there. All right. The other thing I want to say to you is in the United Kingdom, like I said earlier, self-esteem issue is a big deal. There are ways to build your children's self-esteem. Number one, words of affirmation, affirm them. When they make mistakes, don't brutalize them. Explain the gravity of the mistakes to them and let them see they can do better. All right. Occupy the position of a trainer. Okay, don't be one that drives. Don't as much as possible avoid using aggression in the training of your children, and don't deal with your children in anger. Children would usually see the emotion than the message, and once they don't see the message, your effort is lost. All right, so that is very important. I say that to you again. Okay. Don't correct them out of anger. Okay, so engage. There are things that help them build their emotions. I will say to you, engage in martial arts sports. If you have boys, let them do martial arts. All right, let them go into the gym. Not for the building of their muscles, because it builds confidence. They like the way they feel as they step outside. All right, their immediate vicinity. They walk on the street. The shoulders are broad. Look, be real. The boys, as they get into their teenage years, they begin to realize that they have feelings for girls. Girls are noticing them. Girls are talking about them. You don't want your boy cowering. You want your son to walk stately. You want your daughter to walk like a queen, like a princess. All right? For boys, mixed martial arts is one of the things that helps them. Not so that they can get on the road and start fighting, but it helps that they're able to defend themselves if they find themselves in awkward situations. If you have done a good job and you're praying along with them, yeah, they wouldn't go outside and deliberately commit crime and get into trouble that will make you unhappy. All right? So I'll say go take them into the gym, as much as possible you can do it with them if you're able to. All right, let them get into sports. Some of them basketball. My son loves basketball. Most people prefer football. Let them do that. It gives them self-esteem as they master skills. They have something to talk to confidently with their friends about, and when they speak from a position of persuasion and success. You begin to explain to them what they feel is what you feel when you are doing what you should do. You explain what fulfillment is to your son and to your daughter. There are other activities that can help build the girl child. All right, get around other parents that are respectable, that you see the family that they are raising and you like it, and ask questions. Okay, that's very important. Now I want to say this to you, parents. It is your responsibility to protect your child at all costs. And protecting your child does not mean flogging them. It does not mean putting a guard around them. It does not mean locking them at home. It means providing the necessary information that allows your children to make informed decisions. Because whether you like it or not, those kids are going to be going out. They are going to be mixing with all sorts of forces, all sorts of forces. All right. Provide them with information that will help them make correct choices, decisions when you are not there. Very important. All right. And that also means that as a parent, you have to learn. You may need to read books. You may get into conversations with other parents. Um, the road they pass through. You have parents around you, students are already graduated. Go talk to them. draw from their wisdom, their experience with their children. When they became wayward, what did they do? How did they help them from not getting, or how did they help their own children from not going off the curve? All of this you must do. As a parent, you must commit to learning also. All right? If you don't commit to learning and you just want to use your position and your age, you are going to frustrate your child, you frustrate yourself, and you break your family. Now, I'll put three things down here for you: distraction, diversion, delinquency. Most children are distracted in the UK, if not all children. This is one battle as an African immigrant you would have to fight: distraction. Games, Xbox, P5, P4, games on their phone. The distraction is massive. And it has a way of destroying the mind and weakening the mind. TikTok and some of these other online platforms, they are there. All right. And once a person is distracted, they are diverted. They are unable to focus on where they are going, and they begin to keep companies with wrong people. They want to be in the wrong spaces, wrong situations, and scenarios. And once they are diverted, the next thing is they become delinquent. In other words, they begin to give themselves, they are given over to crimes. Lots of knife crimes all over London today. You don't so pay attention to these particular things. I can't exhaust the list, but I'll leave you with this. As an African parent, take God serious in the UK. I don't care what religion you practice. If you're a Christian, I want to say to you, if you are not a serious believer as a father, don't expect your kids to be serious with God. And I tell you that from personal experience. All right, take God serious. Um, make quiet time a big deal in your home. Talk to your children about God from the Word of God. It is very, very important. I don't care how developed the world is. There is no world that will give you peace outside of God's word. All right. With this, I'm done. My break is almost over. I'll see you guys later. Please, if you find this content valuable, please subscribe and share with other African communities. I'm hoping that at some point we'll be able to build a robust African community where we can actually have fiscal gatherings at different parts of the United Kingdom. This has become a passion and an obsession for me. All right. Where we can have maybe WhatsApp groups and meetings where fathers meet, and when you're going through something as a man, you can brainstorm with other men rather than go and start spinning around or drinking. All right. I'm available again. If you have any questions, drop in the comment section. I will answer you. And if you need for us to talk, I'll make room for us to talk. All right. God bless you. Take care.